It's no secret that in today's NBA, defense often seems like an endangered species. The game's best scorers can dribble like point guards and dunk like power forwards. Teams now hoist more three-pointers than ever before, and points can pile up so fast they threaten to overheat the scoreboards. But in this season's scoring bonanza, one team has done something remarkable. They've built one of the greatest defenses in the recent history of basketball. How they've pulled it off is as stunning as it is straightforward. Before the other team can shoot the ball, they simply take it away. Just over a quarter of the way through the season, the Oklahoma City Thunder have the best record in the brutally competitive Western Conference, and they're among the favorites to win the championship this season. The Thunder have turned the NBA's apex predators into helpless prey, tipping, ripping, and pilfering the basketball from their opponents at a historic rate. The Thunder is doing something no NBA team has ever done, stealing the ball from their opponents more often than they turn it over themselves. They steal the ball 12.2 times per game, by far the most in the NBA, while surrendering just 11.8 turnovers on average. They are the only team since steals became an official statistic in 1973 that has come out ahead on that ratio. OKC's top scorers, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, both possess a wingspan that stretches to 7 feet. That lets them reach for dribbles and errant passes all over the floor, combining for nearly 4 steals a night. But Thunder GM Sam Presti has also targeted under-regarded players with a special knack for producing takeaways. Presti signed Dort after he went undrafted in 2019 and picked up Cason Wallace, an inconsistent scorer in college, in the 2023 draft. Instead of aiming for a superstar in the trade market this offseason, he swung a deal for Caruso, who has made exactly 0 All-Star teams. Those 3 players have one thing in common, though. They've spent their lives mastering the arcane art of relieving opposing players of the basketball. They jump passing lanes and swipe dribbles. The NBA's steals leaders don't get the attention of the best shooters or assist men. But stealing the ball is perhaps the single most valuable play in basketball because it often sets off a transition opportunity, at once undercutting an opponent's scoring chance and manufacturing one of your own. Every steal creates a chance for a mini run. String a couple together, and the entire tenor of a game can change. If you have a team that approaches defense this way, it lets you run in transition, and then you have more chances to score. The Thunder's steals are becoming proof of concept for a new style of defense, one that responds to the challenges of today's game. In previous eras of basketball, great defense meant camping out in the paint, waiting to block shots, or deliver hard fouls, when Michael Jordan or LeBron James came charging in for a dunk. Today, teams can do their damage with barrages of three-pointers that no lumbering 7-footer can do anything about. There is no team in the NBA that doesn't have someone who can get hot and score 30 or 40 points. That means an effective defense has to change its point of attack, meeting teams some 30 feet from the basket instead of standing back and waiting. Sometimes that influence is subtle, making a scorer with a strong right hand go to his left, walling off a player so he can't maneuver around a screen, conceding a shot to the iffiest shooter on the floor. NBA defense is a complex system of percentages and corresponding strategies, designed to make the best bucket getters alive just a little bit less effective. But there's absolutely nothing subtle about what the Thunder do. They step right up to the other team, point to the basketball, and take it. The Thunder has been one of the NBA's best teams through 27 games, possessing a top 10 offense and defense while winning over 80% of the time. OKC almost could not have asked for a better start to its season, maintaining the Western Conference's #1 seed while suffering serious front-court injuries, although some nights have produced unfavorable and uncharacteristic showings. Thunder's offense generates above-average results regardless of the final score. They average just 0.6 fewer points in losses than wins, albeit on a 2.5% worse effective field goal percentage. The team grabs 1.5 more offensive rebounds, commits 1.1 fewer turnovers, and draws 2 more free throws in games that end up in the loss column. SGA has averaged 30.4 points per game on a scorching 65% true shooting percentage in Thunder losses. Jalen Williams scores 3.9 more points per game in losses than wins, largely due to averaging over 4 more field goal attempts on those nights. He also records 3.8 more minutes and 1.2 more assists in teams' losses. Thunder's 2 best playmakers do not suffer noticeably during eventual losses. making a team-wide struggle almost impossible. OKC averages a minuscule 10.8 turnovers in losing efforts, lower than any other team by nearly 2 per game, assuming all results count. Among major offensive categories, the team only suffers worse shot efficiency in losses than wins, yet still produces similar point totals. The Thunder maintains interchangeable offensive results in almost all games, meaning its defense frequently determines the ultimate outcome. OKC has made numerous headlines for becoming the league's #1 defense by points allowed per 100 possessions this season, a unit that shines brightest in wins. The team has allowed a measly 99 points per game on a 48% effective field goal percentage and forced 20 turnovers per game in 22 wins this year. All 3 marks skyrocket in losses to 120 points per game on a 56% effective field goal percentage, as well as 16 turnovers forced. The Thunder forces 8.2 more turnovers than it commits in wins and 5.2 more turnovers in losses. Both differentials emphasize the Thunder's individual and team defensive playmaking, which has become etched into the team identity throughout recent years. Opponents who perform games shooting well from the field, grabbing lots of offensive rebounds and getting to the foul line, habitually make Thunder wins difficult to obtain. OKC took on the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Cup championship game. Before the game, the Thunder were projected as heavy favorites to win the title game due to their tournament path and overall record. That could not have been further from the truth. With a final score of 97-81, OKC played their worst game of the season on the national stage. Headed by the triple-double performance from Giannis Antetokounmpo, there were a multitude of reasons why the Bucks manhandled the Thunder. First was the OKC's inability to make threes. They shot a horrendous 16% from beyond the arc, going 5 of 32. Second, they fell short in the rebounding battle, giving up 52 total rebounds and 9 offensive boards compared to Thunder's 43 total rebounds and 7 offensive boards. They gave the Bucks numerous second-chance opportunities and allowed them to maintain control of the game. And third, their stars dimmed under the bright lights. When OKC is able to win games, Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jalen Williams typically have great performances. Unfortunately for this game, they were shells of their normal selves. SGA ended the game with 21 points, shooting 33% from the field and 22% from 3. For J-Dub, he finished with 18 points on 8 of 20 shooting from the field and 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. Throughout the season, the 2 Thunder stars have been very consistent in their play and have shown they have the ability to get buckets against any opponent. When it came to Milwaukee, however, their championship experience proved to be too much for young stars and the rest of the OKC squad. From numerous missed opportunities on both offense and defense to being unable to slow down Milwaukee's momentum, if anything was proven in that matchup, it is that OKC still has some growing to do and that they really need Chet Holmgren back for big-time games.